welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn the difference between ETL versus ELT. You can also say traditional versus modern data warehousing architecture. Well, in case of ETL, let's try to draw something in order to understand what the process is and how it actually works. This will help us. So ETL is extract, transform, and load process. Once it is loaded, you can analyze it and you can visualize it. This is ETL process. So let me say it again. E stands for extract. So what is extracting? Who is extracting? It's the data. All kind of data like flat files, CSVs, data, the CRM output, the business applications, all kind of data from various data sources that we have already seen in the previous video as well. Now, it could be structured, could be unstructured, such as images and email. Now, once the data is extracted, then it will be sent to a staging area. Okay, staging area where the transformation will happen. Okay, which means the cleaning of data, the process, the convert of data. For example, the data is coming from various sources. One of the sources country as United States, one of the source say USA, right? Maybe the blank entries. In some situation, maybe the unit is ml. In some, it is millimeter or milliliter. Those kind of things. So transformation happen in the staging area, and then they will load the data, transform data. Okay, and once we have the transform data here, which is generally, or which is actually its data warehouse, DW, data warehouse. Once the data is here, the transformed data, unwanted data would be released or deleted or removed. It doesn't matter. It's not there anymore. Only the transform data comes here, and you can easily analyze it. And once you analyze, and you can give the access through BI to the business people, and they can visualize it. So this is actually the extract, transform, and load process. Once the loading is done of the transform data, it would be analyzed and visualized. This is the traditional way of data warehousing. Okay, and this can be also performed in cloud. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. For example, if we talk about the advantages, the very first advantage is, as I said, once we transform and upload, we remove the unwanted data. So it will help you save the cost. It will help you maintain the compliance because you have only the transform data with you, right? Now, there are some disadvantages as well. That's the reason ELT came into the picture. The very first thing is it's slow because the transformation needs to happen first before it will be loaded to the data warehouse. Maybe you only need the information from 2 gigs of data, but you have 2 TB of data. So the transformation needs to be done on the entire data because this phase comes first, and then it will be stored in the data warehouse for further analysis. So it's a slow process. Okay, then it requires continuous maintenance because ETL process is up to date, and it's high in initial cost in setting up the ETL process, is you need to define the processes and transformation for this pipeline, ETL pipeline. All right, and it is low flexibility because the input data sources and formats can change frequently. If you're using ETL, you need to configure the transformations for such format changes and edge cases in advance, right? So if the sources are changing, format is changing, it would be hard to change the process. So it's low flexible. So this is the ETL process. This was, you can also say, the traditional way, but you can also use it in the cloud as well. It depends the kind of data warehousing you want to do, your organization is looking for. So if you're doing this in cloud, the extraction can be done through Azure Data Factory, and the transformation through Databricks, and then it will be loaded to the data warehouse. Now let's check the ELT process. ELT process would look like this. There would be an extract from various sources, just like the first phase remains same in both the phases. But here we are not going to transform all the data which is coming out of various sources. We are going to store it. Why this ELT come into the picture? If you need to understand that, it's because of the cloud, because of the modern technology. The sources of data are too many now. You have enormous amount of data, and you also have a storage in cloud which is highly scalable and cost effective, which is your data lake. So you can extract it, load it, and kept it in the data lake. Once you have your data stored in the data lake, then you can do a lot of things with that, right? You can explore the data with the help of Polybase, maybe inside data warehouse. Just get it from data lake, explore it, you can prep it, you can train it, and then you can transform it. Those kind of things can be easily done in ELT process, and that's how it is taken care of. And then once it is done, transformation's done, then the reporting or BI or the visualization for the business people. Okay, so let me write this down just to understand. This is the extract phase where we are extracting data. And if we talk about Azure, it is Data Factory, Azure Data Factory, which is an awesome tool for the data architecture, data pipeline that will act like an orchestrator. Earlier in this staging area, the transformation was happening, but here this is a data lake, low-cost storage where you can store any kind of data, and you will be using it to explore the data, analyze the data, and prep the data. So this, not this, this is your exploration done by the data scientists or data engineers with the help of Polybase, maybe in the data warehouse, by getting that amount of data from there. And then here you will be prepping and training the data, and maybe you're doing after transformation modeling and serving the data in the data warehouse. So this would be data warehouse, right? And prepping and training would be, you can easily do with the help of Azure Databricks. You can utilize Azure Databricks here if this is in the cloud. And then here we have the BI or reporting or analysis, things like that. Okay. So this would be the process. Like this. Now, even this process has some advantages and some disadvantages. So let's try to understand the advantages. As you can see, there is no transformation of happening of huge amount of data. So this phase is very fast as compared to the ETL. We can hook up the data factory from various sources and all the data will arrive in the data lake. It's very fast. And it is flexible because we can have any kind of format, any kind of structured or unstructured, semi-structured data maybe coming even later once the pipeline is in the picture, because we are storing it in the data lake. So it is flexible. And it is low initial cost because ELT tools can easily automate the process of onboarding data, as you don't need to define transformations. The initial cost is lower in comparison to ETL, because here the tools are involved in the transformation all the time. And it will require minimal maintenance. In contrast with ETL, you'll have less maintenance on your plate as the process is simpler and more automated. We'll be utilizing the data factory as an orchestrated tool, which you can use even here, anywhere you like. Unlike ETL, you can rerun only the updated transformation to get the correct output. Okay, it's highly scalable because it is on the cloud, and cloud. That's what this is the one of the USP of the cloud, highly scalable. Now let's see what are the disadvantage of this ELT process, which is security risk. Data security can be concerned when loading large amount of raw data into the storage at first, right? To minimize security risk, you'll need to manage user and application access of raw data stored in your storage. And also low compliance with the data security protocol. Since data is stored with minimal processing, you may need to take additional steps to ensure compliance with data security protocols. So this is our ELT process. And this is the difference between ELT and ETL. If you like to compare again, we can summarize it. We can easily summarize it. ETL versus ELT. ETL usually, but now it could be unstructured as well, but it supports storing structured data for input devices. But ELT could be used for any kind of data. But nowadays, ETL, we can have unstructured data as well for the ETL in some kind of pipelines where you have the niche skills. Now, if we talk about flexibility, as we said, ETL is low flexible and ELT is highly flexible because we are loading data first, so we can have all kind of formats even after preparing the pipeline. If we talk about the scalability, ELT wins again because it is using cloud data lake kind of technologies, which is low in cost and highly scalable as compared to ETL. And if we talk about latency, in ETL it is high because transformation is happening first. In ELT it is low because we're not transforming all the data which is coming in. We are transforming the amount of data that we want the insight from. And loading without transformation is always fast. All right, that's all about ELT versus ELT, ETL. Hopefully this would be useful. So let's meet in another video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.